we're going to look at some fun conditional formatting rules that will allow us to apply graphics to visually distinguish some of the data in our workbooks. So our first step is going to be actually looking at what are called data bars, and this applies kind of like a graphical format to your values, so you can see what the values are based on how high or low they are, and it's not going to take up all the space that's required by your typical chart or graph. So the first step, like anything else, is we're going to select the values that you want to apply this formatting to, and I'm going to start from G5 and go down to G19. We're going to do this to our total sales here. And I'll go back to my home tab. We're going back to conditional formatting up here. I'll click on that. This time we're going to check out data bars, and what this will do is we'll take a look at your values that you've selected and apply a horizontal bar, color bar, based on how big or small that value is. So let me show you what I mean here. I'm going to go here and select the blue one, and when I click on that, let me click off of that so we can get a better idea. You'll see the lower the value is, the smaller that data bar is, and the higher it is, the longer that data bar is. You'll notice though that they're not 100% proportional, right? My highest value is 16840, and I don't really have a value of 0, so they're all kind of filled in. If I wanted to change the scale of what these data bars are based on, I can easily do that by going into my conditional formatting up here. I'll go down to my manage rules, and I'm going to go ahead and select my data bar and edit this rule. Now I'm going to do a little bit of editing and change some of the numbers that this scale is based on. So while I'm in my rule description, you'll notice where it says type here underneath minimum and maximum, it sets to automatic. I can change this to a number. So I'm going to go down here and select this. I'm going to manually put in numbers for each. I'll base my minimum number. Take a look at my values again. I really don't have anything lower than 4,000, so I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And for a maximum, I don't have anything over 17,000, so I'll put that in my maximum. Now when I hit OK and apply, I'll hit OK again to get out of this window. It's going to much more accurately take advantage of that scale from 4,000 to 17,000. So I get a much better range here in terms of my data bars. Okay, so the next one I'll look at are the color scales. I'm going to apply this to C5 to C19. What the color scales do in my conditional formatting is they set a certain predefined group of colors. And the example I'm going to show here, it's going to be from red to green, and it will base those color scales on the values that I have selected. So the lower the value is going to be assigned a color, the higher the value is, it's going to be more towards a different color. So it's very easy to pick out which are your high values, which are your mid values, and which are your low values. So I'll show you what I mean here by going on to my color scales. I'll click this, and so take a look. We've got our lower values having a more greenish color. We've got the higher values having a more reddish hue to them. So very easy to, just by looking at that group, at that range of values, which ones are high, which ones are low. Much better than kind of going through just a plain list of values in your workbook. Our last one, let's check out what are called icon sets. And this is a great way that to kind of split up your values and split them up into different graphical groups. So maybe you have a range of values and you want the top 3% having a certain icon, or the top 30%, the mid 30% having a different icon, the lower 30% having a much different icon. We're going to do that with our conditional formatting icon sets. So I'm going to base this again I'm going to put this in my rating column, and my rating is going to be based on my salespeople's total sales here. So I'm going to outright just go ahead and set B5 to equal G5. Okay. And oops, I made a mistake there. Let's try that again. I'm going to just say equals G5, and that gives me the G5 values, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this all the way down to B19, and pretty much duplicating what's in column G. But instead of displaying the number in this column, I'm going to display icons and have those icons based on my values. So like I explained earlier, the top 30% will have a certain icon, the mid 30 a different, and the lower 30 a different icon. So I'm going to go ahead and select my range again. I'll go back to my conditional formatting, and now I'm going to go down to icon sets, and this time I will choose the star icon. So I have basically 3 stars, a full, a half, and an empty. Okay? just got to do a little bit of modifying this to make it look a lot better, because who wants all these little hashtags showing up? So I'm going to go back to my conditional formatting. I'll do a manage rules. There's my icon set. I'll go up to my edit rules, and I'm going to just modify how this appears. So instead of those hashtags, maybe I just want the icon appearing. So I'm going to check this box where it says show icon only. So now I've got to tweak my different rules, and I've got to change what values determine what icons show up. So I'm going to go in here, and when the value is greater than or equal to, let's say 5,000. So again, I'm basing this on the total sales. So when it's above 5,000, I give it a, actually, you know, let's make that a little bit higher. When it's greater than or equal to 10,000, they'll have a full star. Let's say the middle stop will be 5,000. So when it's greater than or equal to 5,000, it'll be a half star. And when it's less than or equal to, actually, I'm going to change these instead of percents. Let's make sure they're numbers. So again, greater than or equal to 10,000, greater than or equal to 5,000, and then less than or equal to, or less than 0, they'll have the empty star. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. Let's apply it, and I'll hit OK again. So now what we're getting is anything that's greater than or equal to 10,000, it's getting a full star. Anything that is greater than or equal to 5,000, we're getting the half star. And anything that's lower than 5,000 but greater than 0, you're getting this empty star. So again, I can very quickly look through my list of salespeople and determine what the rating is based on the icon that's in this group. And I'll go ahead and center that to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so conditional formatting is a really powerful tool. It's going to help go through your data and allow users to quickly pick out certain data that meets certain criteria.